What if the most highly anticipated comeback in modern K-pop history is currently undergoing a massive, secret transformation just hours before the curtains rise in Paris? Imagine waiting years for this exact moment, counting down the days until Stade de France lights up in a sea of purple, only to find out that behind closed doors, emergency meetings are being held and the entire set list is being completely rewritten. The rumors started as a whisper, but within hours, they took over the internet, leaving millions of fans asking the exact same question. What did HYBE say to Jimin that made him pause everything, sit down with his team, and start questioning the very songs he was about to perform? This is not just a standard rehearsal update. This is a dramatic, last-minute race against time that could completely change what happens on that stage. And today, we are diving deep into what is really going on behind the scenes of the ARIRANG tour. Hey there, Pop Signal family. Welcome back to the channel where we always keep our fingers on the pulse of everything K-pop. I know all of you are probably on the edge of your seats right now because, let's be honest, we are literally just 2 days away from BTS taking over Paris for their massive, history-making reunion tour. The excitement in the air is almost electric, and you can practically feel the collective heartbeat of the entire global ARMY community getting faster by the second. But just as everyone was packing their bags and preparing their light sticks, this massive wave of speculation hit the fandom, pointing directly at our favorite stage genius, Park Jimin. Now, we all know Jimin is the definition of a perfectionist. He lives and breathes performance, and every single step he takes on stage is calculated to deliver maximum emotional impact. But when word got out that HYBE allegedly contacted him directly to initiate an urgent late-stage review of his solo set list, it caught everyone off guard. Some people started worrying if something was wrong, while others immediately suspected that a massive, top-secret surprise was being cooked up for the European leg of the tour. To truly understand why this sudden shift is such a big deal, we have to look closely at the insane pressure riding on these specific Paris shows, because what happens at Stade de France isn't just another concert stop. It is the definitive statement of BTS's post-enlistment era, and Jimin knows it. At first, it seemed like everything was going exactly according to the master plan, with the setlist locked in, the choreography polished to perfection, and the stage production in France finalized for the massive doubleheader. But then, something unexpected happened behind the scenes that sent shockwaves through the production team, starting with a series of late-night communications between Seoul and the tour's creative directors in Paris. Sources close to the production began hinting that Jimin's solo segment, which fans have been speculating about for months, was suddenly put under a microscope after a direct consultation with the highest levels of creative management at HYBE. Now, you might be wondering why a giant agency like HYBE would suddenly intervene so close to showtime, especially when Jimin has already proven himself as an absolute powerhouse who knows exactly how to command a stadium of 80,000 people. The truth is, the relationship between an artist of Jimin's caliber and a massive company like HYBE is a complex dance of creative freedom and strategic planning. And when a call like this happens, it usually means something massive is shifting behind the curtain. Speculation immediately began to swirl across social media platforms, with fans translating frantic insider posts and trying to piece together the puzzle of what could possibly need changing when the show is practically ready to start. However, that's not the whole story, and the more you dig into the timeline of how this rumor developed, the more you realize that this isn't a sign of panic, but rather a testament to the mind-blowing dedication that makes Jimin the artist he is today. You see, Jimin has never been someone who is content with just good enough, or simply repeating a performance that worked in the past. When he looked at the initial plans for the Paris shows, knowing that these European fans have waited literally years to see him perform live again, he reportedly felt that the existing setlist, while spectacular, didn't fully capture the emotional depth and the cinematic scale of his recent artistic growth. When HYBE reached out, it wasn't to hold him back or impose rigid corporate restrictions. Rather, it was a collaborative spark that ignited a whole new wave of creative brainstorming to elevate his solo stage to a level that no one in the industry has ever seen before. What happened next surprised everyone, as members of the live band and production crew in Paris were suddenly spotted back in the rehearsal studios, reworking instrumentals and practicing new transitions that weren't part of the original schedule. Most fans didn't notice this tiny detail, but if you look closely at the recent updates from the staff on the ground in Paris, the atmosphere has completely shifted from routine preparation to high-intensity creative focus. Musicians who usually post relaxed behind-the-scenes photos of Parisian landmarks have suddenly gone quiet, or are sharing vague late-night snippets of empty rehearsal rooms with captions hinting at magic being made in the dark. This level of secrecy is classic BTS, but when it centers so specifically around Jimin, it suggests that whatever changes are being made, they are designed to be an absolute showstopper that will leave the entire stadium in tears of joy. Some insiders suggest that the review of the set list might actually involve a completely unreleased track or a brand new, highly theatrical arrangement of one of his iconic solo hits like Crazy or Set Me Free PT2 that has been specifically tailored to match the grand, romantic, and historic vibe of the French capital. Imagine the lights going down in Stade de France, the crowd holding its breath, and instead of the familiar intro they expected, an entirely new orchestral arrangement begins to play, showcasing Jimin's ethereal vocals in a way that feels completely fresh. Here's why this moment became so special and why the timing of this rumor has sent the ARMY fandom into an absolute frenzy of excitement and deep respect. Historically, when artists are faced with the immense stress of a massive stadium tour, they tend to stick strictly to the script because changing even a single cue can disrupt the complex lighting systems, the pyrotechnics, the camera angles, and the timing of dozens of backup dancers. For Jimin to actively embrace a setlist review just 48 hours before taking the stage shows an almost superhuman level of confidence and a profound respect for his craft. It's the kind of artistic bravery that separates the great performers from the legendary ones, and it has completely reframed the narrative around this rumor from one of corporate interference to one of pure, unadulterated artistic passion. As fans began to realize the sheer scale of what Jimin might be preparing, the initial anxiety on Twitter and TikTok quickly transformed into a massive celebration of his dedication, with fanbases rallying together to show their support for whatever version of the show he chooses to present. But as we stand on the absolute precipice of this historic Paris weekend, a new piece of information has emerged from the inner circles of the tour planning team that changes the entire game, raising the stakes even higher than we previously thought. Rumor has it that this setlist review isn't just about changing a few songs or adjusting the choreography. It actually involves a highly sensitive, confidential discussion about a surprise guest appearance that could completely break the internet. If these whispers are true, Jimin's team and HYBE are currently working out the logistics of sharing the stage with a major figure in the international music scene, a move that would require a complete overhaul of the stage blocking and audio setups at the very last second. The sheer ambition of this plan is enough to make any tour manager break out in a cold sweat, yet the team is reportedly pushing forward because they know that if they pull this off, the Paris concerts will go down in history as one of the greatest live music events of the decade. The tension in the air is palpable, the clock is ticking down relentlessly, and with every hour that passes, the mystery of what Jimin will ultimately bring to that stage only deepens, leaving us all wondering if we are about to witness a historic turning point that will redefine the future of BTS forever. To make matters even more intense, this sudden shift in the creative direction has ignited a massive wave of excitement across French and international music media, with local Parisian journalists reporting unusual movement around Stade de France in the dead of night. Security around the venue has reportedly been tightened to unprecedented levels, with heavy drapes put up around the open-air stadium to block any curious eyes from catching a glimpse of the stage during these late-night rehearsals. Yet, despite the extreme secrecy, a few lucky fans who were walking near the stadium reported hearing faint, unfamiliar bass lines and the echo of a live band experimenting with completely different tempos than what BTS usually uses for their studio tracks. This has led to a fascinating theory among music analysts who believe Jimin might be preparing to introduce a raw, rock-infused, or heavily acoustic rendition of his solo discography, completely transforming the theatrical pop nature of his songs into something designed to reverberate through the massive steel structure of France's national stadium. The sheer scale of Stade de France requires a very specific type of energy to fill, and if Jimin is indeed restructuring his performance to match the acoustics of this legendary venue, it shows an incredibly sophisticated level of artistry that goes far beyond just executing choreography. It shows that he understands the venue itself is a character in the performance, and he is tailoring his art to breathe in perfect harmony with the Parisian night air. This level of meticulous planning has deeply moved the global ARMY community, sparking thousands of emotional posts from fans who feel that this sudden development is the ultimate expression of Jimin's love for them. Many are pointing out that after years of waiting through the quiet enlistment period, Jimin is not treating this tour as a simple return to work, but as a precious, sacred reunion with the people who have stood by him through everything. On various online forums, fans are sharing old clips of Jimin talking about how much he missed the roar of the crowd and how he constantly worries about whether his performances are good enough to repay the love he receives. Seeing him push himself to the absolute limit, working through the night with HYBE's top producers just 48 hours before his biggest show of the year, has brought many fans to tears, reinforcing the incredibly deep, emotional bond that exists between BTS and their fandom. It is a powerful reminder that behind the global superstardom, the luxury brands, and the record-breaking achievements, there is still that same passionate boy from Busan who simply wants to leave his heart on the stage for the people who believe in him. As the hours continue to tick down and the anticipation reaches a boiling point, the entire K-pop world is holding its breath to see how this dramatic creative gamble will pay off when the first notes finally ring out in Paris. Whether we get a groundbreaking new collaboration, a completely reimagined musical direction, or a performance so emotionally raw that it redefines what a stadium show can be, one thing is absolutely certain. Park Jimin is about to deliver a moment that will be talked about for years to come. This is the magic of BTS, the constant evolution, the refusal to play it safe, and the unwavering commitment to always giving their absolute best to the fans who made their journey possible. We are truly on the verge of witnessing history in the making, and there is no doubt that Stade de France is about to become the center of the musical universe this weekend, leaving an indelible mark on the hearts of everyone lucky enough to experience it. Thank you so much for diving deep into this incredible story with us today, and as we all count down these final hours to the historic Paris concerts, let us keep sending our warmest love and loudest cheers to Jimin and all the BTS members as they prepare to take the stage. If this story made your heart beat a little faster and made you even more excited for what is to come, please hit that like button to show your support, and make sure to subscribe to the Pop Signal family and turn on that notification bell so you never miss a single update on this fast unfolding journey. We want to hear from you, so please drop a comment down below. What kind of surprise do you think Jimin is preparing for us in Paris? And which solo track are you most desperate to see him perform live? Thank you for watching, keep spreading that beautiful purple light, and we will see you in the very next video.